No, you can leave it because that'll save the space for it. Matches your pants? You think I have it? It's a good mix. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started in just a minute. Please grab whatever you'd like to eat or drink. And you can grab a seat if you want a seat. We will start in 2 minutes. There are some seats up front if you would like a seat. If not, you can stand in the back. But we will start in 2 minutes. Thank you. If you can hear me, clap your hands. If you can hear me, clap your hands twice. If you can hear me, just keep clapping your hands till the people stop talking. And here we are, the venue shifts. Welcome to New Tech Seattle! I almost said don't do it again, but we can do it again because I know we can do it better. Welcome to New Tech Seattle! Doesn't that feel better? It's a better way to start the night. We're going to have a good time. Very glad you guys are all here. Please raise your hand if you've never been here before. Well, it's usually 50-50. That's good. Raise your hand if you have been here before. That's good. It's usually about 50-50. Thank you all for being here. If you haven't been here before, oh, wow. It's better when something's on the screen. Okay, we're back now. That's interesting. So this is what we're about. So if you haven't been here before, New Tech Seattle is an event that's a part of New Tech Northwest. New Tech Northwest is a community of 46,000 members. We grow by about 500 a month. You are a member because you joined the meetup group or the newsletter, or you're here tonight. So you are New Tech, and we're very grateful for you being here and being active in the community. What it means to be a part of the community versus just coming to an event is we do these every month. And the premise of what we're doing is bringing a neighborhood together. Yes, Seattle's kind of big, but it's also kind of small. And we're all here to help each other. So we are black and white. We are male and female. We are Seattle and East Side. I know that's hard to accept. That's the hardest one, right? But we are. And we're just about quality people who are into innovation, meeting other quality people who are into innovation, celebrating the cool things happening in our community, and inspiring each other to go out and do more cool things. So if that sounds good to you, please say, hell yeah. Thank you very much. It's nice when the people are in the house. If you have friends, raise your hand. Oh, okay. Rest of you will talk later. So if you have friends, if they are, looking at YouTube or Facebook, we do live stream the event there, and you can go back and check it out later. So if you think someone might like the presenters tonight, they could look now. Or if after you see the presenters, you think, wow, my friend would really be into that, you can have them go look at it later. These are our presenters. They are coming from a diverse background. We make sure that not only do we have startups, which is typical for a meetup, but we also have enterprise companies tonight. Microsoft will be here with some information you probably had no idea that Startup Garage and other things are happening at Microsoft that are very startup oriented, even though they are as big as they are. So they will be coming up soon. Please clap for them ahead of time. This is our team. This doesn't happen without them, so please clap for them. These are volunteers and other people on the team that bring this together. It also does not happen without our sponsors, so we're very grateful to them. And a few of them are going to come up for a sponsor speed round for a minute, tell you a little bit about what they're up to, and throw some free stuff at you. Like free stuff? Okay. If you like free stuff, you'll be happy. That's good. First off, Nintendo. We do not have a Nintendo representative here this evening, but they are our title sponsor. So they are sponsoring all 35 of our events this year, and we're very grateful to them. And I will be Mario for the evening, very quickly. So basically, if you don't know, Redmond is where Nintendo is based. That is their North American headquarters outside of Japan. And they've been here 30 years, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're there. They have an incredibly diverse population working for them. They have lots of technical and non-technical jobs. They focus on bringing smiles to people's faces. And I will tell you, it's one of the few campuses I've been on where literally most of the people are laughing and smiling most of the time. So we could use more of that in the world, if you ask me. So all characters are welcome at Nintendo. If you are looking for a job, you can go to careers.nintendo.com to learn more. And our venue partner is ThinkSpace. That's where you are, if you don't know. And let's give a round of applause for ThinkSpace, giving us this awesome venue with the boats and the lake. Stack Overflow. Are you ready? I'm just going to shut up and let you talk because I don't want to say it and then you repeat me this bad.
Thanks, Brett. So I'm Alicia, and I'm here with Stack Overflow. Raise your hand if you know what Stack Overflow is. Okay, so a fair number of you. For those of you who don't know, we're one of the largest online communities for software engineers and actually engineers of all sorts. And we basically empower engineers to find solutions to technical problems. So our motto is we do everything to serve developers. Now, a lot of people have been asking me at the booth, so if you guys are free, how do you make money? And that's why we're here today, is to tell you about some of the other offerings that we have through Stack Overflow. So as you can see here, we have Stack Overflow Talent, which allows your company to look through our database of technical talent. So we have about 50 million users on a monthly basis. And this allows you to really dive in and be able to reach out to these engineers directly through Stack Overflow's platform, and also to broadcast your job postings to them. Then we also have Stack Overflow Advertising, which allows you to get your products in front of your target audience of developers. So put your products in front of those 50 million engineers. And lastly, we have Stack Overflow for Teams. And that is an internal Q&A to allow your company's engineers to work together more efficiently, to cross-collaborate, and to be able to solve problems more quickly by combining their brain power. Because in today's society, problems, they are, technical problems at a company, they require lots of people to collaborate to solve more effectively. And these days, people are using wikis, they're using chat systems, but then things get lost. And how do you look back on those solutions later on? How do you onboard your engineers when they're coming to the company a year later? So that's what we're helping with. If you want more information, we're at the booth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appear to have a ghost in the machine tonight, so I appreciate your Patience. Apparently, we're back. So, Get Around has been an ongoing partner of ours for quite a while. Got free stuff? Got free stuff? Okay, you can come up then. Okay.
Hello, guys. So I'm here with Get Around. We are a peer-to-peer car share, so it's like very similar to Airbnb, but this is where you can rent your personal car out. We cover all the insurance for any cars. It's all based on your availability by the hour or by the day, and it's all keyless entry. So we try to make it as seamless as possible for both renters and owners. You can get cars for anywhere from about $5 to $15 an hour, $30 a day even. So it's really cheap, a lot cheaper than other car options or car rental options. But yeah, we're giving away some t-shirts today. If you guys want, we're also giving away $50 credit off your first rental. So if you guys go to get.co/NTS, you can get $50 off. We are all over the United States, and now we are in Europe as well. So yeah, check it out. I'll throw some t-shirts at you guys.
Who wants a t-shirt? See, this is why you should sit up front. People are afraid to sit up front. You get more free stuff over it. Ah, good arm. Nice. Our next sponsor is Inside Space. Nick?
There. I had free stuff, but I think it's a little hard to throw. I might hit somebody, might get them hurt, so sorry about that. But if you want some stuff is in the back. My name is Nick, and I'm from Inside Space. Now, raise your hand if you got confused with Inside Space and Think Space. Don't worry, I did too. It's easy. So my company is a market research firm, and we work with clients all over the world, including Amazon and Microsoft and ExtraHop and so on and so forth. We handle technology development and future product testing. So that means that we look for technologists from everywhere in this field. I'm literally looking at all of you, which means you should be looking at me too. And everyone who's capable here can provide their expertise on surveys, on research and development. We provide little jobs here and there, and they pay anywhere between $250 to $350 per survey, which is usually about an hour of your time, which you can do at the safety of your own home. Because, man, I don't want to go downtown Seattle at night or in the morning. I just want to stay at home. Again, if you guys also want, we also have an Amazon gift card raffle in the back, where if you sign up or put your business card in our little pocket right over there, we can provide us with the Amazon gift card to you guys tonight or the week after. All right, I think that's it for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. Metis was not able to be here. They are a boot camp for data science. If you want to learn more about them, then talk to me after, and I can connect you with them. And our nonprofit of the month is Union Gospel Mission. For about 2 years, we did a monthly search and rescue with them, and you can share more about what that's all about. But you are probably very aware of the homelessness issue in Seattle, and something that we have tried to be a part of the solution with from the beginning when we started 7 years ago. And Union Gospel Mission is one of our partners, and you can tell them more about what you guys are doing.
Thank you, Brett. Hi, everyone. Oh, yes, I would like this. Do you mind clicking for me? Hi, my name is Stefana Sneed, and I am from Seattle's Union Gospel Mission. We have been serving Seattle's homeless population for 87 years. And we have found that each life is valuable. You know, for most of us here in the room, if we found ourselves in a tough spot, we probably have about 3 or 4 people that we could reach out to. For the people that we serve, that's not necessarily the case. It really is a complex issue. It's deeper than what we might see on the surface level. There's all types of root causes which land people in a tough spot. But there is hope. And we have found that if we take a holistic approach, and if we look at people on an individual basis, coupled with our programming, we see recovery. We have a 77% success rate with our 12-month recovery program. And so if you want to be a part of the solution, there is a ton of ways to get engaged and involved. Please come see us in the back. We'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So this brings us to the community portion of the evening. You are the community if you haven't been here before. So remember what we said about the neighborhood before? This is where we go neighborhood instead of TEDx. So stand up. Oh, actually, you know what? Sit down. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm thinking to slide ahead. So take out your phones. And if you have LinkedIn, open it up. If you don't have LinkedIn, you can download it right now. So LinkedIn has this feature. A lot of people don't realize it's there. And I know they moved it recently, but I believe at the bottom of LinkedIn, you'll see a couple of people's heads. You click on that, and then at the top in the middle, you'll see Find Nearby. So you want to look for Find Nearby. If you click on Find Nearby, then that will make you available for anyone in this room to connect with. And you will, in turn, be able to connect with anybody else in this room who turns this on. This is something that happens in real time. We're just going to do this for a couple of minutes. The Wi-Fi is lowercase ThinkSpace, all one word, but the I is a exclamation point, I believe. Is that correct, Jerry? Yeah, I know they changed it. So, okay. So if you need Wi-Fi, the network is asterisk ThinkSpace. The password is thinking with the I is a exclamation point, and there's a hashtag before it. So it's hashtag TH exclamation point NK exclamation point NG. Come up here. They just changed it, so. Sorry, the idea was not to confuse everybody.
So the idea is to add the connections nearby and then say, oops, find nearby appears after you add the plus sign. So
Okay.
So you find the people here on the bottom, and then it has the Find Nearby. They changed it. So then it brings up everybody. So I see Griffin, I see Tiffany, Arlena. So you guys can connect with me.
So the idea behind this is we want you to walk out of here with more LinkedIn connections than you walked in with. And also you can see people's faces, you can see their job titles, get an idea of where they're coming from. So you can find people in the room that will be good for you to meet. And if you do not meet them tonight, you could connect with them on LinkedIn so you can shoot them a message tomorrow. And just let them know that you were at New Tech and you're part of the community. So we'll do this for maybe one more minute. Has everybody got it? Is everybody confused? Does everybody have it and they're confused? Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, I realize this is the comfortable space. We all love the position of bending over and looking at the phone, but we're going to now go to the uncomfortable yet much more fulfilling space of actually connecting with actual human beings in the room, because we are actual human beings in a room together. So now please put your phones down or anything else in your hands. So now please stand up and find a face or two you don't know and high five that person, say, what are you up to and how can I help? All right, please wind down your conversations. Make your way back to your seats. We will have more networking at the end. If you can hear me, clap your hands. If you can hear me, clap your hands twice. Okay, raise your hand if you met a cool person. 2 hands, 2 cool people. A foot, 3 people. Anyone? No? Okay. As long as no one didn't raise any hands, then that's all good. All right. Thank you very much. That's what makes New Tech is you sharing yourself and being curious about others and helping each other out. So to that end, if you are looking for a job, please stand up. It's all right. We've all been there. We will all be there at some point. Okay, so if you're hiring, look around. These people, they do have red tags also. Okay, raise your hand if you're in the back. Okay, you guys sit down. If you are hiring, then please stand up or raise your hands. So if you're looking for a job, talk to these folks. Okay, cool. If you have moved to Seattle in the last year, please stand up or raise your hand. Holy mackerel. It was so weird. Last month, there were like 2 people. I was like, get out of here. That's never happened. All right. Okay, we usually have like everybody gives like 20 seconds. I don't think that's going to happen. So like the first 5 people who raised their hands who moved here in the last month, if you want to just like say your name, where you came, you want to say your name, where you came from, and why you came to Seattle. Is there anything we can help you with? 5 people. Okay. Okay, you go first. Use your outside voice. Shh. Cool. Thank you for being here. Anyone else? Okay, Yobi, just 1 second. Ideally, not pitching. So let me like clarify that for people who are new. So I realize like a lot of startups have is like pitch. Nothing against that. It's just not what we do. We share. So we just try to take stuff down to a human level and be a cool human with other cool humans, and good things happen. So plenty of places to pitch, but we would rather just be human together and have a good time. So go ahead. Okay, cool. Thank you. Welcome. Anyone else? Yes. No. I'm sorry. We'll be back to you. But you know what? No. Stand up for yourself like that. That's good. But this gentleman had just raised his hand earlier. That's all. You're next. Go ahead. Yes. Okay. Welcome. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I took some of your energy out, but bring it back up. Bring it back up. All right, rock climbing. Troy is your man. Anyone else? Okay, one more. Go ahead. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing what you're up to. We're the umbrella for the whole Pacific Northwest. So we also want you to find resources when you come here, whether it's people or websites or events or anything. And I know there's a couple people here with some cool events coming up. So 2 or 3 of those. Raise your hand. Yes. Go ahead, Mike.
So I'm Mike, and I want to let people know about NASA's Hackathon. It's happening in Seattle in October, and also 200 locations around the world. It's one of the world's biggest hackathons, and it's all about bringing NASA data to the public benefit. People who are data scientists, programmers, and UX bring it all in. We've got challenges from NASA to have fun. Also, in November, there's a Startup Weekend Space Techstars event happening November 15th. If you are space-minded and you are interested in startups, this is also a great place to go. Again, it's not just our programmers.
No, that's not you. No, that's.
It's everyone. Space needs everyone. Come join us.
Cool. So, Mike, are they on the calendar? On our calendar? Okay. So if you have an event that you're a part of, you can put it on our calendar for free. Don't know what's up with this. Sorry about all this. So you can put that on our calendar for free, and there's actually other places on our website we can send you to post it around for people to learn about your event. Tim, did you have one? Okay. Shh.
Hi, I'm Tim. Happening next Thursday, we have a meetup at Atlas Workbase. It's close to here. We have the president of Microsoft speaking. His name is Brad Smith. He has a new book out, so it's free. There's like.
Okay, so Tim's being like kind of loud, not totally loud, and a little bit humble. So you have Brad Smith, the president of Microsoft, at your event. So people might want to attend that. And that is happening when? Next Thursday at 6 at Atlas Workbase. So is that on our community calendar? Okay, it'll be up there tonight. Okay, there was one more person, I think. Don't see. Okay. All right. So we do have a community calendar. It's free to put your events up. It's a good place to go and find out about great things that are happening around town with a lot of great organizations. And also on the website, we have a resource guide with all sorts of things, co-working spaces, angel investors, VCs, podcasts, all sorts of things that might help you on your journey. So please check that out. You probably went to the website in order to get here, so you know about it. We do everything we can to give you guys lots of resources and ways to connect. If you have any suggestions to be helpful, what's working, what's not working, to be better and be more valuable for you, then please let me know. If you want to connect with the community outside of here, you can do it on the obvious channels that you are probably already on quite a bit. And that's a way to ask people for help with what you're doing or share some of your expertise to help them. And without further ado, that leads us to the October tech presentations. Would you like to hear about some cool tech happening in your backyard? Awesome. So you will not be disappointed. The way this works out is the presenters each have 5 minutes to present. When they get to the 4th minute, Holly is our timekeeper today. Holly will raise her special finger, and when she does, you raise your special finger. You see? People participated so much more 4 years ago. I don't know why. Maybe we need more beer. Okay, so raise that finger. That lets them know they have 1 minute left. They can either wrap it up or go into their Q&A time. And Q&A is either 3 questions or 3 minutes long. Without further ado, please welcome our very first presenter tonight. Her name is Allison, and she is from Pose 2. Give her a warm welcome.
You know, I'm supposed to do that. Hold on. Show me, before we start our clock, show me, is that right? Just to the right. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm exhausted. I want to go home and go to sleep now. My name is Allison, and I am the founder and CEO of Pose 2, the platform that asks the question, what are you supposed to do? Let me set the table here for a second. Generation Z. Generation Z kids born after 1995 have grown up in a world of hyper-personalized advertising. If you want to appeal to a Gen Zer, you better appeal to them as an individual. Everybody's doing it. You can see it. I don't have to explain it. Everybody's telling us what to buy, who to date, what to listen to, and what to watch. And Gen Z has come to expect this kind of personalized attention. And it turns out they're willing to trade their personal data for it if they see value. And yet colleges are still trying to recruit students in old-fashioned ways that do not scale. So unread brochures that end up in the trash can, one-off presentations at college fairs, which students appreciate, and grueling road trips by junior admissions staff, all of which can increase enrollments only at the margin. And that's where we come in. Pose 2 is the first smart college match. We are harnessing the power of machine learning and the stickiness of video games to help kids find the colleges that they fit with based on their career goals, and that's important. It's college match based on career goals. You can think of us as OkCupid for college match. We're a two-sided marketplace, and like every other two-sided marketplace, every dating app, every ride-hailing app, our job is to match buyers and sellers, in this case, buyers and sellers of higher education, based on goodness of fit. It doesn't do us any good to recommend that a kid apply to a school that they're not going to get into any more than it does me any good when one of these dating apps gives me a guy that I'm not interested in. So we have to find the right fit. How do we do it? Our secret sauce is behavioral psychometrics. We are capturing massive amounts of micro-behavioral data from gameplay and deploying machine learning to transform or render those miscellaneous data bits into meaningful psychological characteristics. Once we have those psychological profiles of the player, we can predict career fit based on decades of existing literature and data. And then once a young person homes in on what they want to do after they graduate from school, our recommendation engine can recommend the schools and the curricula best suited to their goals. The value proposition, I think, is pretty obvious. If we can help kids figure out what they want to do after they go to school, they're better positioned to know where to apply and what to study. And all of this enhances time to graduate and therefore controls costs. On the institutional side, adding Pose 2's psychographic profiles of applicants to applicant reviews allows the institution to personalize their marketing campaigns to the individual's attitudes, interests, and personality. And that lets the schools highlight their offerings both on campus and in the community that are going to appeal to the individual student applicant. These data-driven profiles and personalized recruiting means students engage more, they interact, and the ultimate goal is to convert, apply, and enroll. The market opportunity is huge very quickly, believe it or not. Kids, individuals and their families are spending $8 billion every year just to go through the application admissions process, decide where to go to school. Schools are spending $10 billion a year to market and recruit them. That's an $18 billion opportunity. Pose 2 was founded in Seattle. In 2016, we have been competitively selected to participate in both Y Combinator's and Techstars pre-accelerator programs. With more than 5,000 early users, thank you, 1 minute. With 5,000 early users, we've created our preliminary proprietary algorithms, and we've raised $350,000. You don't care about this. Let me just tell you that the last stat tells you that our run rate 5 years out is $80 million a year. I come to this venture with a long history of work in the higher education enterprise, PhD in psychology from Harvard, senior administrator at some major college campuses, and the director of academic outreach at Microsoft. Our brand new CTO, Bosco, who's in the audience here, raise your hand, Bosco, comes to us with 26 years as a software engineer, and I have to wrap it up now. I do really want to show you very quickly a view of what we do. Now, how do I make that happen? How do I click it? No. I don't know how that was set up either. Brianna did that for me. It's a, I'm sorry, it's our video. Anyway. Thank you all very much. Interested in your questions and feedback. Oh, here it is. Look.
She's alive.
Weird science. Thank you all very much. I guess we have 3 minutes for questions. Is that how it goes? Questions, anybody?
Tell us something that we wouldn't know from your presentation or from your resume.
Something that you would not know from my resume. Well, I performed on stage with Weird Al Yankovic as one of Robert Palmer's backup singers. Addicted to Love, remember that? Any other questions out here? Joel. Startup founder as a woman. You know, that's a very, very rich set of thoughts I have on that, but I'm going to put it this way. What kind of a warrior goes into the stadium where they know 95% of all combatants will be killed with access to only 2% of the resources that ensure success? Shields, trainers, lions. What kind of a combatant does that? And my answer is only a female founder does that. Women get 2% of all venture capital available to startup founders. So I want you to think about that, 2%. So we are ferocious. Any other questions? Ian?
So how does your product use games to match
I went sliding by that. So Ian has asked, how do we use games to do this matching? And I slid right by it, so I'm going to sort of say it again more slowly. We capture massive amounts of micro-behavioral data from gameplay, little tiny snippets, how long it takes to make a move, whether you tend to the right or to the left. And we are able, with the help of machine learning, are able to sift through all those data and come out with meaningful psychological characteristics. If you know about machine learning, you understand that we had to train the machine, and we did that with standard tests and assessments. But microbehavior in, psychological characteristics out, paint a picture, call it a portrait or a psychographic profile, and from that we can predict career fit and reverse engineer college match.
One more question.
One more question?
Can you give a classic example of something you learned in gameplay that would result in a match?
Well, it's not one thing, right? There's no one thing we can learn that tells you what career you should pursue. It's an accumulation of characteristics from multiple games, but I'll give you one example, okay? We have found we can predict conscientiousness as just one trait. We can predict stability in the face of stress. We can predict those things from how you perform in a game. And when we know a bunch of those characteristics, what's your personality? What are your interests? What's your cognitive style? What is your emotional quotient? Are you good with people? When we know all that, we're in a good position to predict career path. Does that answer your question? Great. Thank you all very much. Oh, can I get one more here? One more. Well, I can't give you an answer on success rate because that's good. There are two ways to think about success. I mean, you got to define success. Is success somebody grew up, went to that career, thrived and comes back and says, hey, it worked. We can't do that. That takes too much time for us now. Someday we will be able to do that. Right now, what we measure ourselves by is when we make a recommendation, does the player take it seriously? Does it feel right? And do they show evidence that they're going to pursue that path? Thank you.
Awesome. So our next presenter is Kona. You ready? All right. Please give Kona a warm welcome.
I'm going to keep clicking the slides back and forth to try and avoid the slide thing. So, my name is Kona Ferry. I am a senior at the University of Washington. I'm in an undergraduate urban planning program, but I'm also the developer of a transit tracking app called Pantograph. Pantograph is named for the part of an electric train that connects it to the overhead wire that helps supply it with power, just like the Pantograph apps connects riders and agencies to vital information about the transit system. So you can find it at pantographapp.com. If you have an iPhone, I would encourage you to take out your camera, scan this, download the iPhone app. I just released this 6 weeks ago. Shh, don't get your hopes up, Android users. You're talking to a longtime Apple fanboy, I'm sorry. So this started back in kind of late to December, early January, just as a side project for me. I'm not a software developer by trade. I have learned every line of code that I have written going into this. Shout out to Stack Overflow in the back. Learned everything from you. So this has been very much a project that has grown a lot over time. I released it in late March to much more interest than I expected. I ended up with a Seattle Times article in early April. That was a very long day for me, but it was overall a really great experience. So we're going to jump into why this matters to start with. So we are all familiar with apps like One Bus Away that show us, when we're sitting at a stop, a list of estimates when different buses are going to get there. We've also all probably experienced watching as it says 2 minutes for 5 minutes and no buses come for no apparent reason, which is very frustrating. So what I'm doing is taking that same information and applying it in a slightly different way, making absolutely no claims about when any bus is going to be anywhere, and just telling you where it is right now, so that you can see, oh, it's a few blocks up there, it'll be here shortly, which psychologically is very different from attaching yourself to the bus will be here in 2 minutes. I also provide a lot more context for all this. So you can see here, this bus is right on time. If I'm at the next stop, I'm a happy camper. But all these buses are delayed, which is an indication to me as a rider that if I have a transfer to make, or if I am going to a meeting, that maybe I might need to plan on some alternate options, if you will. As far as the technical side of things, there exists a standard called the General Transit Feed Specification. This was developed by Google and TriMet back in 2005, 2006. You can think of this as essentially a plain text relational database. This is a worldwide standard used all over the world that describes the entire schedule of a given transit system. All the buses, all the trains, when are they supposed to be anywhere. And this is great. This provides all the schedule information for any app you've ever used. But real time is where things get interesting because that reflects reality. So there's a layer on top of that called Gtfs real time that effectively updates the Gtfs information in real time and gives you more specific arrival estimates for different things. I'm ignoring the arrival estimates altogether, as I've already said. But I can combine these same feeds that power all the different ETA apps that you've heard of or not, and use them for what I'm doing and showing this big map. So you can see here, this is a sample of 1/2 of a Gtfs real-time feed that lists, this is where a vehicle is as of this time, this is the trip that it's on, all of it. As I move on from just mapping things in real time, I'm also starting to get into analytics. So this is a screenshot of a page on the website that shows, you can't even read it, don't even try, but it shows all the different vehicles for a given group of metro vehicles. I'm so running out of time. And the distribution of where they go. This is not really interesting to riders so much as agencies and bus enthusiasts such as myself. Where things get interesting for riders is applying this trip assignment information to individual routes. This is information for the Route 40. It stops right outside this building. Maybe some of you took it here tonight. And I can look at this and see that 95% of the trips that serve this route are on those long bendy buses. So if I'm a rider and I'm trying to decide between two different routes, I might look at this and I might look at another route that might be served by shorter buses most of the time. And I might decide to take one of the longer buses because that might be less likely to be crowded and I'll get to sit down for the duration of my ride. It also has equity implications. You can see, are all the buses from the 90s with no AC system getting assigned to routes that serve historically underserved communities? That might be the start of a conversation that needs to get had with Metro. Oh dear. So to run through some challenges really quickly and wrap things up, I'm dealing with 8 different agencies that all implement the same standard in 8 different ways. There's an XKCD comic up here most of you are probably familiar with. I didn't put it up here, but I'm dealing with that problem. They also don't update their information as frequently as I might like. So there will be a bus that last reported like 2 minutes ago, and in 2 minutes a lot can happen. Maybe it's still stuck at that intersection. Maybe it's gone 10 blocks and whizzed right by you. I don't know. So I will say that Metro has told me it is funded and underway to improve those polling times, but for now, this is what we have. As I move forward, I'm starting to get more into the analytics. So right now, the trip assignments is kind of low-hanging fruit. I'm getting ready to get even more into things like performance trends. What routes are underperforming? What routes tend to be delayed a lot? Where are our buses getting delayed, regardless of what route they're on? Metro can then take that over to SDOT and say, hey, maybe we need a bus lane on this particular road because our buses come out of there down 8 minutes. So that sort of thing is what I'm starting to look at right now. Integrating traffic, of course, is part of this, and crowdsourcing positions. I now have this user base of people that have this app, and if they can tell me, oh, I'm on this particular coach, it doesn't matter what Metro is telling me or how infrequently they're telling me it. I can get that number down from 2 minutes to 2 seconds because I can just get that information from somebody who's using the app. So there's a lot of different places I can take this. I've had the opportunity to meet with all the major transit agencies in Greater Puget Sound. Many of them are really excited about what I'm doing here. I know the Sound Transit customer service folks use this a lot, in addition to their own internal tools when they're producing things like rider alerts to get that out to their customers. So it's been quite a journey for me. You can find me and the service on Twitter. You can also send me an email if you have questions, but I'd also love to take some questions right now, assuming we have time because I'm sure I'm very over. All right, quickly. I try to pack a lot of information in there all at once. Yeah.
So I've noticed, like, probably a year old now, we're on Google Maps, so she'll ask you, how busy is it? How many empty seats?
Yeah.
Is that, like, do you have these pointing to? So I always wonder, like, dude, I would love to know, like, if I just wait 5 more minutes, this next bus has a bunch of empty seats on it, I will do that.
Google does not make that information available. I would love it if I could. Now, it does exist. That's what I would like to get into, yeah. There does exist part of the standard for a Gtfs real-time information allows for agencies to communicate with their own counters, not just people using Google Maps, how many people are on board that bus, whether it's standing room only or not. None of the agencies in the area currently implement that standard, but I think that is part of that project I mentioned that is funded and underway at Metro. So that is something that will be very important going forward. Now, because I have also been working with them and talking with them about what I'm doing here and how we can help each other, there's also possibility for getting access to the data that they generate internally, because something like 60% of Metro coaches are equipped with automatic passenger counters. So if I can tap into that data and integrate that onto these pages and into the real-time information, that would help a lot too. In the back. Nope. What? To expand on that slightly more, I'm not going to rule out anything for the future. Right now, I am one person who is learning all of this as I go, and I'm a full-time student as well. So I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. But
so I'm going to ask you your last question is, Kona, if someone in the community or someone's could help you to develop an Android app, would you be open to talking to them about that so that many more people would be able to experience the wonderfulness you've created?
I wouldn't rule anything out. I make no commitments one way or the other. But yeah, that's absolutely a possibility, definitely. Thank you.
So our next presenter is Mark from Democracy Lab. You like democracy? You like living in a democracy? You're going to like Mark.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, I am Mark with Democracy Lab. I'm really excited to be here tonight and share with you what I believe will be my life's work. But before we really dive in, a question. How many of you volunteer, just by a raise of hands? Excellent. Thank you for giving back. And how many of you volunteer using your highest skill? So if you're a heart surgeon, you volunteer doing heart surgery. If you're a software developer, you volunteer doing software development. How many of you fit that bill? So considerably fewer, right? So this is the issue that we're going to dig into. So first I want to talk about this equation. Cognitive surplus plus ethical debt equals tech volunteerism. Cognitive surplus is something many of you may have heard of as a concept. It's the idea that many of us are privileged to not have to use all our mental energy assuring our own survival. We have time and the ability to do things just for fun. We can game, we can solve puzzles, we can watch TV, but we have this brain power that is not being used oftentimes to better ourselves or better our society. And mostly that's okay, but think about the next concept of ethical debt. There are lots of really big problems in the world, things like climate change, inequality, injustice, and and many of us feel that we should be doing more to solve these problems. And one of our early volunteers really put this in a way that resonated with me. He said, I sell a little bit of my soul every day writing code to get people to click on more ads. And I earn that back every night volunteering for Democracy Lab. And he made great contributions, but this is what more people want to be able to do. If you think about this cognitive surplus, this ethical debt that we can and should be doing more, this leads to people like you using their highest skills to advance the public good. Now, the problem is that it's surprisingly difficult for tech volunteers to find opportunities to use their talents in projects that match their skills and interests. And the solution to this problem is Democracy Lab. We've designed our platform to optimize the connection between skilled volunteers and Tech4good projects. We're a nonprofit that's built an open source platform that is designed to, with a few clicks, make it really easy for you. If you're a software developer and you care about the environment, you can, with a few clicks, find a project that deals with it. If you're a designer and you care about homelessness, in a few clicks, you can find a project that deals with it. We launched an MVP version of our platform about a year ago, and we've been making incremental improvements every 2 weeks as we're releasing new features, new enhancements, and now it's decent. And we have 64 different projects on our platform, about 1,200 users a month, and are looking to expand our focus beyond the Puget Sound region where we have been. But when we first launched, we had a problem. We had built this platform to connect projects and volunteers, but we had no projects and we had no volunteers. So we sought to solve this problem by convening all the Tech4good organizations that we could find, bringing them all together, encouraging a lot of collaboration. And at our first hackathon that we convened, we brought 100 volunteers together with 21 projects, and everybody liked it so much that we just kept doing it. And what's different about our hackathons is the intent is not to start and finish something in a day,
but to make incremental progress on projects and start to develop long-term relationships between projects and volunteers. And it's working. Our project leaders say that we have helped nonprofits connect to the tech community, and they benefited from the standards and best practices that we've shared. And we found the secret sauce to bring inspirational projects and skilled volunteers together, that we have been an essential resource for government stakeholders as they seek to make a difference in their work. That we've helped build open source community, and some volunteers have devoted hundreds of hours outside of the hackathon events themselves, and that projects have seen incredible benefit from the community that we've created. You know, the trouble in our paradise is that our two-sided marketplace is difficult to monetize. We're connecting skilled volunteers with a low willingness to pay to projects, not nonprofits and startup Tech for Good projects with a low ability to pay. And so we're looking to solve this puzzle by engaging corporations to invest in their company culture and do Tech for Good hackathons for their employees, giving back to the community, increasing employee job satisfaction and retention, and helping us develop a sustainable revenue source as we look to expand our work, both here locally and across the country. So thank you very much. Look forward to your questions. Yes. We don't, and that is what this corporate hackathon strategy is intended to do, to bring together projects, package them and present them to local tech companies, and then orchestrate their employee engagement effort. This is a post on Medium that describes the first of these that we did at Textio, but this is the problem that we have, is we're creating lots of value in the work that we're doing, but it's all public value. We're not capturing at this point any of it. So we need to create more value for clients that can afford to pay us, which would be the tech economy of Seattle. Yes. Yeah, there's eventually the vision is that this is a global enterprise. There's no reason that this need exists everywhere. And we see it. I'm pretty active with Code for America, the Open Seattle, the local brigade, and there's 70 plus brigades, little chapters of Code for America across the country. They all have this exact same problem, and so does Code for Poland. So does Code for Kenya. All the Code for Pakistan. All these different Tech for Good organizations all around the world have the same problem of trying to efficiently connect volunteers with the right project fit for them to contribute to. Yes.
How do you differentiate yourself with other gig economy offerings like Upwork?
Well, the big one is that this is for volunteers. So Upwork is a paid opportunity. This is for volunteers who want to give back because they have the ability to. So that's one point of differentiation. And then with other volunteer matching platforms like Volunteer Match or Taproot or Ragtag, Catchafire, what's really different about our approach is that we've taken a very narrow focus on Tech for Good projects, which allows us to go much deeper into the needs of those project leaders and volunteers. And we've learned a ton through that process, about what those needs are and how we can make that connection as efficient as possible.
One more question.
Oh, you guys want to arm wrestle or rock, paper, scissors?
And you can talk to Mark after you see his face, so you guys can connect afterwards.
Okay.
I was just going to ask, how do you choose the organizations that you partner with as far as Tech for Good? Is it just that they're tech and they're a nonprofit, or do you have certain guidelines to define sort of the mission and impact?
Yeah, well, as we've been building this marketplace, we want to say yes a lot more than we say no. So the Bullseye Tech for Good project for us is a nonprofit entity that is building open source software tools that advance the public good. But not all of the entities on our platform are nonprofits. Some are informal. Some are social purpose corporations. Not all of the work being done is open source. But as you kind of move away from that bullseye, what we've seen is those project opportunities become less appealing to the volunteer community. All right, thanks a lot.
Turn it the right way. So our final presentation this evening is from a local company you may have heard of, Microsoft. Anyone? Who's heard of Microsoft for Startups? Wow. So it's awesome that you're here. Okay. All right. So please welcome Ian from Microsoft for Startups.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am acutely aware that I'm standing between. Oh. I'm acutely aware that you can't hear me right now. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I can hear myself. That's better. Okay. Rewind. Hi, guys. Wonderful evening, I hope. I'm acutely aware that I'm standing between folks in the after party and happy hour, etc. But I'm also acutely aware that I am a Seattle native. I love this city, I love this community, and it pains my heart that so few people are aware of what Microsoft can do as a member of this community for startups. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk a little bit about what we can offer to founders, entrepreneurs, the engineers, the marketers, the biz dev folks who make up our startup community. Animations. Okay, our motto is very simple. You as a startup are here to do great things, and we're here to help. And when I say you're here to do great things, I mean it. You don't found a startup to do something small. You found a startup to solve a problem that you understand, that you have lived, that you have breathed, and that is going to change the world in some way. We work with companies that do everything from medical fall detection, predicting when people are going to fall out of a bed in a hospital, to people that are solving problems like unconscious bias in written documents, or helping the self-driving cars of the future understand billions of images in real time, doing truly great things. But we're here to help because it turns out that this is really, really hard. We work with startups who have told us, hey, we walked into a customer, we almost closed the deal with a major bank, and do you know what? They just handed us a 50-page security audit document. What do I do with this thing? Yeah. Oh, you guys can't hear me. Okay, now we're better. We've worked with startups that face problems around just your product going down and customers yelling at you, but also my favorite one, the first customer, that big win that you're counting on, that then turns to you and says, wait a second, like, how can I trust you? How can I work with you? Like, am I your first customer? And as a startup, you're focused on creating. You're focused on figuring out what your product is, who's going to build it, how you're going to pay the people that are going to build it, how you're going to pay back those investors that have helped you pay the people that are going to help you build your product. And we believe that there's a bunch of areas where Microsoft has certain expertise where we can be a partner, not just a vendor, a partner that helps with the two things that we are really, really good at. So Microsoft for Startups, partnering with us, it's all about two things: access to technology and access to customers. We help our startups with up to $120,000 of free Azure credits, but much more importantly than that, access to the engineers, the consultants who can help you understand how you need to build your product. And then the thing that I'm really proud of, the thing that we try and do with any startup that we work with, access to customers. Our salespeople get paid if they help you win business for a very simple reason. Our customers have problems and they need the type of solutions that startups are building. So our goal with Microsoft for Startups is that anyone we work with can have a success story like Defined Crowd. They're a startup here in Seattle. We worked with them to close one really big deal, but more importantly, deal after deal after deal, so that we can go together to customers and act as partners over the long term. That's what we're trying to accomplish with Microsoft for Startups. And if that sounds interesting to you, we want to talk to you. If you're B2B focused because, well, we want to be able to help you reach new customers, you're at that stage where you've figured out your product market fit, you can apply today. We want to talk to you. We want to work with you. You can visit our website. Or if you're not ready now, send us an email. Follow us on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Find me here, chat with me. We'd love to have a conversation. So thank you for hearing me out. I really appreciate it. I hope this is educational for the community and would love to take any questions if you have any. Yeah.
I went by that last slide pretty quickly, but if I got it right, you're looking for companies at the stage, A series stage, which is pretty advanced for a lot of the stage.
Yeah. Why are we looking for companies in that seed or Series A stage? Here's the deal. You can spend a lot of time. I actually talked to someone earlier today who had talked to me about the pivots, the iterations, etc. The best thing that we can do for any startup is help you connect to customers. For us to do that, you need to have figured out your product market fit. I don't actually care if you have Series A funding from a VC. I care that you have figured out a product and a customer, and so that we can help you reach the next 10. That's why that stage is up there. You're welcome. Cool. Yes, in the back. Yeah, great question.
Wait, please repeat the question.
Yeah, the question is, does it have to align with our product categories or aims we have as a company, et cetera? The answer is no. B2B is very expansive for us. We can help most with organizational buyers, schools, enterprises, small businesses. We reach them with our direct sellers, with the resellers, the companies that take Office and sell it to a school. All of them can take a startup solution and sell it too. What we're trying to do is help you close business with our channels. And the reason, very, very simple. When you get a new customer as a startup, guess what? We just got a new customer too. Yeah. Okay, I know we're at time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So one more round of applause for all of our presenters tonight. If you had a good time tonight, if you'd like to connect with the community, either through presenting, advertising, or sponsoring, reach out to me and I can give you more information. Our next event in Seattle will be November 5th. Tomorrow is our next Tacoma event, if you will be there or know anyone else. And our next Eastside event will be October 15th. And tonight we're announcing we will be doing Women in Tech on a monthly basis starting in November. So those events are some of our most popular events, and there's a lot happening around that space, and we believe we can create a community around women in tech, which doesn't exist with a lot of events that are happening now. So if you're interested in any of those, you can go to the website to learn more or talk to me. If you've had a good time and you'd like to spend more time with people in this room, you can here, but you can also go to Art Marble right down the street and continue networking and connecting. So thank you all for coming. Have you had a good time? Good night? Okay. So just, you know, we're very human and honest and just real about what we do. This is really, you know, tonight's actually a smaller crowd for us. We're generally like 200 or 300 people a month in Seattle. And you are New Tech. So the people in the community are what New Tech is. It's not me. It's not our team. It is the community in the Pacific Northwest helping each other and working together. And we really believe that when we just come together and we're curious about each other and help each other out, it's fun, it's good, it helps build the ecosystem, and a lot of cool things happen. So I appreciate you being here and being a part of what we're doing. And if there's things we can do better or things that don't seem that they're working very well, let me know. We've been around 7 years, and that's because people like you have shared what's worked and not worked for you, and we're really grateful you're here. So thank you for coming tonight, and we hope to see you soon. So take care.